going on, guys? Hope everyone had a wonderful Friday. Just messing with my my pods, my ear pods a little bit. They're a little wonky. Yeah, today we're going to be doing some silicone pouring, guys, on the first side of these molds. I'll show you these ones. You've seen me work on them already, but we're going to pour the first splash coat, if you will. And then we're going to use a Fixatropic after it's cured. So probably not today. The silicone we're using takes approximately 12 hours to fully cure. So do the splash coat, keep working on the other molds, and keep moving that forward. So yeah. Also, here's the deal. If you guys haven't already joined the Discord, go over and join the Discord. Do it. Make yourself a happier person. The Discord will solve all of your life's problems. All your life's problems, I promise. What up, Blagged Out? Didn't really expect to see you. Aren't you supposed to be filming something today? Pretty sure you're supposed to be filming something today, aren't you? And just a reminder, we're working on the eternal project, the never-ending Armsy figure, okay? So 2 hours until I leave. Oh shit. You're doing it later at night? Or I guess afternoon, evening time. How far do you have to travel for it, or is it pretty close that you're going, or what? Alright, just gotta do some updates real quick, guys. It's gonna be it's gonna end up being a whole night thing, you know it. Sure. About 20-30 minutes to my friend's house. He's picking me up because he works in town. Nice. Crazy though. All night shit. Nutty. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. It's gonna be a little hard to explain here, but basically the silicone only has to cover where pretty much where our ball bearings end. So the ball bearings end here. This one's gonna be a little bit easier. I decided not to do this on the other molds, but this was the first one we did, and I actually built like a little reservoir to collect the silicone, but I don't need it. So we're just gonna let the silicone drizzle on. Normally I would use a degasser to remove the air bubbles, but being that it's gonna be such a thin layer and we're gonna use a drizzling technique, I don't really think we're gonna need to use a degasser. So I have the silicone in here that we're just gonna use. I stayed up late so I would wake up late. Did it work? Did you wake up late, man? Oh, the only thing I did to these that I didn't do on stream was I used alcohol and a brush to really smooth the clay out. Let's see if I can show it off a little bit. So if you see, just like, it's pretty smooth, right? Yeah, so I really tried to do my best to smooth it out. It seemed to work pretty well, so. Okay, here we go. So we're going to use a platinum silicone, platinum cure mold making silicone, basically. It is the same stuff you guys have seen me use other on my other molds, but I'm using a different type of catalyst. The great stuff about this stuff is that you can use the same base with multiple different catalysts that give you different effects. How's it going, Cam? Hope your Saturday is going well. So this silicone's called V340. You can get it through, what is it? I think it was Blue Star Silicones, but we ended up, or Blue Star ended up being bought out by Elcam, or Elcam, I think. So, but it's called V340 is the base, and then you can buy different types of catalysts. I pre-weighed this stuff out so that we could just do this inside the shop today, so, or inside the stream room. But basically this is 10% of that. I don't remember exactly what it was. It was uneven numbers, but I think this ended up, I think it was almost 220 grams, I think, because this ended up being about 22 grams. So we're filming our big, we are film. Oh, you are filming the big Christmas short too. Everything worked out nice, dude. Wait, is that tonight, or is that, are you doing that later? So we're just gonna put this into there, mix it up really well, and then we're gonna drizzle it over this. Frankly, even for this might be a bit much, but let me kind of show you just kind of the viscosity of what this stuff is. So you can see, like, it's very thick. Literally turn it upside down. We do not need a mold box because we're just going to do a surface layer, and then I'm going to use a thixotropic additive once this cures, maybe tomorrow, and we're going to mix a thixotropic. So this stuff's already thick, but it still moves. If you add a thixotropic to it, you can almost sculpt with it. We're going to use that to make a thick layer over it that then we'll do fiberglass on. So, but you can see that this stuff much thicker than this. This is very, very thin, very watery. So tonight for the extra stuff, getting the hard stuff done first. Wait, so is this the, are you guys shooting the Christmas short, or are you shooting your backup Christmas short tonight, or both? I'm confused. Eventually, man, maybe. As soon as the Eternal project has been completed. So I'm starting to call it, oh, the main one. Okay, gotcha. Now remember, this stuff has a, 30 or a 12-hour cure time. So even once I mix it together, I have quite a bit of time to work with it. Hold on one second, guys. I'm just going to test something here, see if I can get the best focus on this. But we do have to mix it really well, but it does give us plenty of time to mess around with it, so. I only added, when you're doing mixing like this, silicone is, I would say, pretty forgiving as far as whether or not you nail your mixing ratio. But I will say this, if you can manage to get your the amount mixed that you need mixed accurately, it's going to always be better. So I pre-weighed this stuff out into separate containers but I added an extra gram to the catalyst knowing I was going to lose maybe a gram or a little bit more. A gram or a little bit more just like on the side of the cup. That's why I'm just trying to do my best to scrape as much out as I can. But even if it ended up being over by a gram, it wouldn't be the end of the world. So you can see here, there is still some left in there, but I got the bulk of it out. So we should be good. Let's see if I can we're going to scrape the sides really well in a second here. Remember, we have a long, I think the pot life on this thing is like an hour at least, if not more. With a, yeah, like I said, about a 12-hour cure time, so. This is my favorite mold making silicone. Now there is plenty of other companies mold making silicones out there. Smooth-On's Smooth Seal 950 comes to mind, which isn't bad. But this stuff, when it's fully cured, you could even sand if you wanted to, which is super useful for if you're making masters of something and you might want to modify it. But yeah, again, it's called V340. Pot life might even be 1 to 2 hours, honestly, depending on the temperature, the ambient temperature of the room you're working in, and a full cure time of about 12 hours. Now, if we were going to do a box mold and still didn't have a degasser, we could still do what's called a high pour, which is going to be something similar to what we're working on right now. Just keeping a steady stream of it is good enough because you're mixing in a bunch of air bubbles into this. Tasty. What's up, Space Witch? Yeah, right. Looks like Smurf cum. It sounds so terrible, but yeah. I have another catalyst that's gray, and it actually is even. It makes the final cured silicone even stronger. So you guys can see all those air bubbles, right? So they got mixed in. It seems pretty even. Another thing I'll do is I'll check the sides. See how there's still white right here? That's uncured silicone. So I'm going to try and get in there and mix that up a little bit more. There's an air bubble right there. Another one right there. Without making too much of a mess. Okay, you get a paper towel too. Looks like blue or raspberry taffy. Yeah, I can see that. So now we have our molds. Now remember, I'm just going to drizzle this. This is just a splash coat, guys. We're going to thicken it up later, and of course it's going to be backed with fiberglass, but this is almost the most important part because the detail that this picks up is going to be what counts. So making sure it gets in everywhere. Gravity will do most of the work for us, but we might need to help it along with like a paintbrush or even air canister. Will work really well for it too. We can just figure out the focus here. There we go. So you're gonna see, I'm gonna just kind of pre-pinch this so it kind of creates a little bit of a pour spout. We're gonna lightly, the main part of course is to really nail the sculpture too, so start a really fine drizzle, right? Such a fine line will help reduce the amount of air bubbles that are even being introduced, because most of the air bubbles will pop while being forced into a really fine stream. Again, this is just another great way if you're trying to figure out how to do stuff and you don't have a degasser. This one does kind of have that reservoir that'll help collect the silicone, right? And we do want the silicone to cover the pour spout too, because that's where the plastic is going to go in. And we don't want plastic on fiberglass, right? The important part is that the silicone does cover everything that you need it to cover. The silicone can't travel back up, it can just travel down. And the 12-hour cure time will allow any air bubbles that are going to take place to escape, which is really the goal. But we actually want the silicone to go a little bit beyond the reservoir wall, if you will. Remember, just a splash coat, guys. We're just trying to pick up the detail as accurately as possible with this few bubbles. Then we go in with a nice thick silicone. Well, it's actually just going to be this silicone with a thixotropic added into it. To really back it up. But if you guys remember the silicone I used for the throwaway molds too, I used the gray stuff, so it was harder, it was firmer. If you remember, because the gray silicone, when I poured those, it didn't end up having a fiberglass back, so I had to make sure that that it would be strong enough to hold the shape. The blue catalyst makes it a little bit floppier, generally speaking. But if you're looking for a good silicone to use, definitely use, it's called V-340. We call it just V340 here in the studio. It's a really great mold making silicone. If you remember, I'd said I probably mixed up too much. You'll see here in a second, like how much I still have left in there, you know, just from that. So I'm just kind of going around. The canned air is a little bit trickier to work with, but it'll help break some surface tension here. Again, the cure time is really what makes this stuff so good. With a 12-hour cure time, I mean, if your mold is pretty self-leveled, like, don't get me wrong, like this stuff right here, anything along this edge, because it takes so long to cure, will literally end up probably sliding off in some fashion or another, off to the side or whatever. It'll totally like it'll fall. It'll go wherever it can go. But that's okay, because again, we're just using this as a splash coat, right? Making matrix molds the way I'm doing it right now, and when these molds are all done, is a really efficient way to save on silicone. Box molds, if you don't have a ton of silicone, can be really expensive, especially if you have a bunch of molds you have to make like we do. We have 8 arms, the torso, that's 9 molds, each set of legs 10 and 11, so it was 11, almost 12 molds that we're gonna have to make, both 2-part. That would be a buttload of silicone. Okay, so you also might notice, and show you here, if I can pull focus, that there might be thin spots you might see, like right here, right? Or maybe right here. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Matter of fact, likely when this fully settles, they'll all be about that thin, and you'll see quite a bit more of the mold, but it doesn't matter because we're just getting the detail right now. So we're gonna do the same thing with this guy. So this one doesn't have the, I don't know, what did I call it earlier? The ravine or whatever. So let's zoom out a little bit. We might go a little bit heavier of a stream this time. You guys might notice a few more air bubbles now, right? Now this one's definitely going to drain because there's definitely a high point. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Sculpturally speaking, there's a ramp right here. I can probably show you guys. Right. So there's a ramp right here, right? So silicone that's here will probably travel down and fall that way. Silicone is here. At the highest point, this should end up being the barest part. I'm gonna let that settle for a second. Remember, we've got to hit all the ball bearings too. We don't want to leave them exposed either. You know, in this situation too, if you're doing it this way, probably better to make sure you put this thing somewhere where you won't care if the silicone, you know, falls off the edge and gets onto whatever surface that you're resting your mold on. Obviously, don't put it on your carpet. Silicone can be really nasty to try and to get out of fabric and clothing. So I should also say I'm not using any mold release. Matter of fact, both the sculpture, which is made of plastic, and the clay itself has all been smoothed with alcohol and cleaned with alcohol. So this is a bone dry mold. Oftentimes, for any silicone mold, or even the silicone part of, say, a matrix mold, I don't find that you need to use, there are circumstances where you might want to, but generally speaking, I don't use mold release. There's no need. The mold's going to be flexible. You'll be able to get whatever you need out of it pretty easily. And if you're using platinum silicone for your mold, if you don't use the right kind of mold release, you do risk inhibiting the silicone. Now, if you're confident you have the right mold release and it won't matter, that's fine. But I'm also trying to retain detail. And so I really don't want any spray release on this, because adding something like that can literally take away your texture because it's filling in over it. Like, technically spray painting something takes away its texture, right? Ever so slightly. But for a master mold, a production mold, if you can avoid it, do not use mold release. Not suggestible for people who are doing molds out of fiberglass only or ultracal. You'll always want to use mold release. And even then, technically speaking, if you're a badass like I am, still don't use mold release. Just make sure that you make your walls so fucking perfect that your seam, that you can get your sculpture out easily, especially if your sculpture's clay. Mold release, I don't like it. I don't like mold release. For producing things, you absolutely want to use it, but for making the molds, many times you can get away without using it, or using so little in a very specific way that you'll never have any issues. Oh shit, was there a bot? Was it telling me how to get famous? Did you just kick out a bot telling me how to get famous? Now I'm never going to be famous? Is that the situation? Oh, damn. I guess I'll never get famous, guys. I'm going to try and show you guys some of these air bubbles up close here. See that? That's an air bubble. Bam. And now I just popped the air bubble. You took away my chance at fame, man. As I go along, you'll see like little holes will appear. And that's where there were air bubbles, like right there. Hold on, let me get that back into the focal frame here. See those random holes that appeared that you didn't really see before? Those were all air bubbles. You can actually, it's really cool. You can use this same technique on splash coat with resin molds. You can use on resin though. It's actually really fucking cool. You can use a torch. You guys ever watch those videos where people are pouring up like clear resin and shit? The reason they torch it is because the heat expands the air bubbles and makes them come to the surface and pop. So this is a similar idea. You're basically breaking the surface tension in a lot of ways. That's basically it. So we're gonna just zoom out a little bit. This canned air, it's almost done for. Yeah, it's done. We're gonna bust out another one. And I really like this brand of canned air. If you guys ever get a chance, it's just the U-line. Price-wise, the most for your bang for your buck. You can always stop by Staples or Office Max and pick some up. But usually, their canned air has like a weird residue that gets left behind. Might even hit this one again. Just double check if there's any other air bubbles going on in here. Yeah, you can start to see it's starting to drain off here. While it's in your workstation, you might make a point to clean it up as it happens, but I am kind of pushing a little bit harder in areas that I know are really fine. Again, this is just the splash coat, so we just need to make sure the details really picked up. You'll notice how I'm doing this, and it makes like a weird shape and design, but then look at the one I just did over here, right? It's already almost like glass smooth. Because ultimately it is kind of I don't want to say, no, it absolutely is leveling. Once this cures and we get the thicker coat on, which again, we're not going to do today. We just don't, I ain't streaming for 12 hours and that's how long the stuff takes to cure. We're going to mix up another batch of this and add a molecular modifier that's specifically designed to thicken up the uncured form of silicone. And if you ever want to do, so you get some silicone and you want to try this, you just need to look up something called a thixotropic agent or something along those lines. And it almost certainly will be called thixotropic. You can add it to almost any type of silicone and you'll be able to make it a thicker, uncured version of itself. The problem is it usually weakens the silicone in its cured state if you add too much. We're not going to do that. But even if we did, even if we added so much of it that it would weaken my thicker coat that we'll put on, in a way it's okay because it has this very pure, unmodified silicone that we added that will create a protective skin of the good stuff, essentially. And I mean, for the fact, again, we didn't use a degasser. You know, we just used canned air and a drizzling technique. If you were to fill a big box, you would have your box without a degasser. You have your box built around this, right? And then you could do what's called, just like I said, a high pour. I know guys that would literally stand on ladders to do this, but you saw that stream I was using was just like a small stream. You would literally stand as high up as you could above your box, and you would just create a single stream that narrow, so that as it fell, any air that was in that stream would get out because it'd be so narrow, and it would land in one spot, and you would just hold it there for a very long time. Hope that you have a very strong arm, because it's going to fill that whole fucking box. And it's going to take a long time. But again, we're doing a matrix mold, which just basically means silicone inside, fiberglass outside, which will reduce the amount of silicone we need to use in total. And I wanted to show you guys this too. So we're basically done. I'm not going to add any more. You can see I still have quite a bit left over. So honestly, I could have mixed half as much up. The only thing is, when I start doing silicone, the last thing I want to do in the middle of a mold making project is have to mix more silicone up. So I almost always will end up with more. Hopefully not this much more, but if you don't know how much you're going to need, take whatever number your guess is, and I would try to add at least 10 or 20% more, so you don't have to mix up more silicone. It's a convenience thing, and plus imagine we had run out halfway through. I'd be pouring another mixed version of silicone in, which is going to change the cure time. The original mixed silicone is going to be curing at a different rate than the second one. On top of that, if you don't nail your mix and for some reason one is softer or harder than the other, you could end up having a marbled mold. These are very extreme. Most of the time, if you're paying attention, that wouldn't happen, but I'm just letting you know that it is a possibility. Oh yeah, so that's what I was going to say. When this is cured and after we do our thick coat, I'm going to take an X-Acto blade and I'm going to cut out a more defined shape instead of this like glob that's poured over. And then we're going to tap fiberglass on top of that, so that silicone shell that we'll end up with a fiberglass shell backing it up, which will strengthen it. So there we go. In all of its glories, guys. I can probably even... You see it's starting to spill over a little bit, but it is very thick. So this is why good silicone stuff costs a ton. Yeah, silicone is expensive most of the time. If you didn't care, you were working on this quick project and you didn't think you were going to be replicating it very much, you honestly could say fuck it and pick up some tin silicone. Just like this is platinum silicone, tin is derived from tin metal versus platinum metal. How much cheaper would I say it is? I wouldn't be surprised if it's 40+% cheaper per pound than platinum silicone. But tin-based silicone doesn't last as long. It emits oil, leaches oil. It's not body safe, so you can't make food from it. You could do like candy molds out of this stuff. Uh, it's like it's totally safe for that. Tin silicone, you absolutely would never do that. And although I haven't messed around with tin-based silicones as much, the few that I have also seem just very brittle. This stuff, if you guys remember some of my older, a couple months ago streams where I was like cutting open the molds we made for the hands in the first place, you remember how much I was struggling to cut through it? The damn shit was so fucking like strong that even with a brand new sharp razor blade and trying to pry open those molds, it was still wildly difficult to get through them. So yeah, platinum silicone, much stronger. We have molds here at our studio that we use daily and have been using, I'd say, for the work we put them through. There's molds we have that we use daily that have lasted 5 years. Platinum silicone molds will last a long time if properly taken care of. So we're just going to put that off to the side. We're going to keep moving on this bad boy. You have to keep adding in those more ball bearings. Another reason I had to finish one of these molds is because I need those ball bearings out of those other molds. I need them. But yeah, those other ball bearings, I gotta get them back. I need my ball bearings back. And oh, I can get the clay back too. As soon as the first half of those molds are done, I can pop out the clay, pop out the ball bearings, get all those back, and be able to use them for the many other parts of ye great eternal project, the Armsy, one solid limb at a time. What do we have? We have 5 more limbs, yeah. Oh, but I did all the hard limbs first. So if you notice, all the limbs we were working on, guys, had like fingers. They were more difficult shapes. The rest of these are more basic shapes. So I won't have to, they won't be as tricky a molds. They'll be very, very simple. Look at that Armsy butt, guys. Armsy booty. I bet the silicone will barely be set up by the time I finish streaming today too. So I'll be sure to try and show that. It might start what we call gelling, which is that it's no longer really moving, but it's still uncured. So you'll touch it and you can like push it around. It'll stick to your fingers, but it won't. The gravity aspect of it continuing to slide and move around has kind of gone away. Yeah, another thing I realized when we were molding the different parts of the Armsy to get it into plastic before we started making these molds was that the turpenoid I was using to smooth it had a adverse effect with the silicone. That's what I was talking about earlier with the fact that platinum silicone is more sensitive. I love me some turpenoid. You guys have probably seen me use it a dozen times on stream. The dangerous part about it is that apparently it can mess with platinum silicone. So you really want to make sure if you use something like turpenoid to do smoothing, that it is fully evaporated before you mold it, because it can gooify any of the surface that the silicone is in direct contact with. Forget which limb it was. I don't think it was this one, but one of the other limbs for the Armsy lost some of its texture due to the fact that the turpenoid messed with the surface, the inner surface of the mold. Really sad. And actually, turpenoid doesn't really evaporate either. It is it absorbs more than anything else. More commonly used for, you can pick it up at like Michael's, Hobby Lobby, things like that. And you pick it up in the painting section usually as a paintbrush cleaner for oil-based paint. But I use it often for many, many different things. I actually used to use Goo Gone way back in the day for sculpting. For a really nice smoothing agent. Goo Gone worked really well. Either clay has changed or Goo Gone has changed, but it doesn't work as well anymore, so only use it in a pinch, because it takes for fucking ever to kind of absorb into the clay. And so if you need to do molding, you can't do it for days. Which is unfortunate and sad if you're in a rush. Bam. Thank you, Space Witch. It's hard to tell sometimes, especially when I'm like looking down and my voice is being projected somewhere else. I think we're going to try and hang out with, I should probably learn how he pronounces his stream handle, but I think we're going to have to hang out with Menken J sometime soon. I mean, I got to chat a little bit earlier on Discord. Really cool dude. Another sculptor. He's been doing the Twitch thing for a few years, so we're going to have to bug him at some point. Are you making perfect, adorable little holes again? Yes, we are.
You know who else is a cool dude?
Jesus Christ! That was all part of your plan, was it? How's it going, Sticks?
Yeah, absolutely. It 100%.
That was terrible. I hope it scared everyone else. Are you still there?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, cool. Oh my God, it didn't freak anyone else out. Well, okay, you guys didn't have your music up loud enough, okay? What are you doing this wonderful Saturday, Sticks?
I am finishing out this project and then moving on to a new one, as well as Christmas shopping at the same time.
Is this the same project you were working on?
Yeah, the project that was unveiled last night.
Ah, okay, gotcha. How much further you think you got on it?
Right now, all I have to do is resizing everything so that way it fits the way it needs to fit, and then I am done with that one. And then I'll be working on thumbnails next.
Oh, okay, cool. That's awesome. Wait, you're doing another, this is another poster, then you're moving on to thumbnails?
This one is a banner, and then I'm working on new thumbnails.
Oh, nice. So have you started doing the math on like how many of these pieces or whatever you'll have to create so that you can quit your job?
I've done the math, and roughly about like 8 a week for a month, and then I'll be able to quit.
If it wasn't for the job, I feel like that would be pretty doable, yeah?
It would be, it would be. But I would also have to increase prices as well.
To this particular person, to your client, or to in general?
No, just in general.
Okay. Wait, I forget. Do you work on the weekend? You're usually working today, or no? Is that not the case?
No, I usually work Sunday to Wednesday, but I'm not working tomorrow, so because I took the day off.
Fuck yeah.
Just have so much shit to do.
Yeah, I feel you there. I got all my shit done this morning before my normal work shit done before stream today. So that's nice. When I'm done, I get to just go home.
I don't. I'm not done for the rest of the day because I have to order Christmas gifts, and then I have to wrap Christmas gifts, and then I have to do laundry, and then I have to clean the kitchen. And then I have to resize everything that I need to resize, and then I need to draw sketches, so I'm not done for a while.
That's all day today? Damn.
That's all day today.
Y'all get to see me in tights tonight? Lagged out. Why am I seeing you in tights? What the fuck?
What?
I mean, you do you, bruh. Are you gonna share pictures behind the scenes of the movie you're working on? Yeah, no, I know it's your elf costume, but unless you're gonna stream it, I'm curious how you think we're gonna see it. Oh my god. I was just talking to one of my coworkers yesterday. He's kind of an older dude, and I was like, "You ever been Santa Claus, man? You ever been asked to be Santa Claus?" And I was just kind of being a dickhead. I was just giving him a hard time. And he actually, yeah, he said, "Yeah, I've been Santa Claus 3 times." I'm like, "Ooh, I'm sorry."
We're going to see Santa Claus tomorrow.
Like at a mall or something.
No, to a sensory-friendly place. It's basically just going to be a Santa walking around a bunch of sensitive kids. So instead of sitting on his lap and scaring the shit out of these children, he's just going to walk around instead.
That's cool that a place like that even exists.
Yeah, it's a really cool place. I like it a lot.
Hey, so you've been there? I'm guessing this place does other shit when it's not Christmas time. So you've probably been there for other things, right?
Right. It's just basically like a big indoor play place for sensory sensitive children. Okay. So we've been there a couple of times now.
Gotcha. Your fiance wants a picture. Wait a minute, lagged out, isn't it literally just going to be good enough that your fiance gets to see you in the movie? Why does your fiance need a picture? Just send it out as a Christmas card, because that would be hilarious. You do all your Christmas shopping online, Sticks, or do you actually brave out into the wilderness and do Christmas shopping at actual retail shops?
I go to retail shops for certain things that I wouldn't normally be able to find online, which is not exactly like an uncommon thing here in Canada because the online shops aren't as like wide as they are in the US. So a lot of shopping is still retail here. But for the most part, yeah, everything was online.
Yeah, I've been helping out with our sales department. So a lot of just sitting at a computer and answering phones shit for the last couple weeks because it's
Ooh.
just the crazy time of year, and we have such long lead times for our products. So
Right.
there's plenty of people that thought they ordered early enough to get the product before Christmas, kind of thing, and it's like, nope, no, you didn't.
Ooh,
So
that's never fun.
yeah, no, it's not. But we try to help people out, but we charge. We kind of have no choice but to charge people like expedited fees to
Hmm.
try and make Christmas because we don't ever guarantee delivery on anything. Everything's always estimates. So if they're like, "Well, I really thought," and it's like, "Well, maybe you could have done yourself a favor and done some research before you ordered." Anywhere on the page that literally says all the information you would need. Um, so no, it's really unfortunate, but like to actually do it, we have to charge people almost 100% more, and it doesn't even
Oh wow.
guarantee it. Yeah, it doesn't even guarantee it because UPS refuses to give us any guarantees. So like even if we do our part, UPS is just kind of like fuck you. Like we can't promise that we'll get it there in time.
Yikes. Oh
Yeah,
no.
yeah. So people have
Hate
to
to
chance.
hear that.
We tell people that, but that means they end up having to chance. They're like, okay, I'm gonna pay say 100%, right? But then they still don't even know for sure if they're going to get it.
Ooh.
Yeah. But at that point, it's kind of like, well, that's UPS's problem. They messed up. So,
Yeah, take it up with them at that point.
yeah.
See, we tell people like order by this day and you'll have it for Christmas. If you order after this day, you won't have it for Christmas. And then we still get people who call in and they ordered on the 22nd and they're like, "Where's my stuff?"
Oh,
And
is
we
that
have to
your.
tell them like, "No."
Is the 21st basically the day? It's like if you don't get it before then, you're not getting it.
I think this year it's the 20th, if I'm not
The
mistaken.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they if they order on like the 22nd, they're not getting it. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, no, it might. Does it ever depend on like where they're located, or does that not really affect it very much?
It doesn't really affect it that much just because that's strictly like a time frame for our shipping team to be able to send stuff out in time because we do get so many orders around that time. So it won't even ship in time for Christmas, let alone get there.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, we have a lot of international people too that ordered way in advance because they have to worry about customs. And
Yeah, yeah.
apparently, our stuff can even to Canada, right? Which is like America 2.0. Um, it it can still get caught in customs for weeks on end, which I thought
Oh,
was kind of
absolutely.
crazy. You deal with that problem very much ordering from like US places.
I just don't order from US places. I
It's a
skip the
good
customs
that's a good idea. Okay.
because we have our own separate like Amazon here. We have Canadian Amazon that sells like different things than the American Amazon does.
Really?
And ours are all like within Canada, so everything is shipped and sold within Canada, so you don't have to worry about customs at all.
I wonder what kind of good shit you guys get up in Canada Amazon that we don't get. Lots of maple syrup, I'm guessing.
Yeah, just a shit ton of maple syrup. You guys actually have like more stuff on your Amazon than we have on ours.
Oh,
Ours is
okay.
very
Gotcha.
limited.
Can you just switch out of it? Or is it like, no, you only can browse Canada Amazon? Or is there like a button you push to be like international Amazon? You know what I mean?
I still shop on the US Amazon because my oldest two still live in New York.
That's
So
right.
I order stuff from the American Amazon and send it to New York so I can still browse. All I have to go is to amazon.com instead of .ca, which is the Canadian domain.
Oh, yeah, that tracks. Okay.
I'm going to send you a behind the scenes picture.
Do it. Do it. I want to see a behind the scenes picture. This is the banner, right?
It is the banner.
Damn it. This was working so well earlier. Why is it not working now? Oh shit. Okay, hold on. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
Is it just
Dude.
not pulling the thing out?
Dude. Dude. All right, stupid question. I won't say it, but is that the name of the company that I'm seeing behind it?
Yes, that would be the name.
This is someone. Is this? Maybe I got confused. Is this a streamer?
It is a streamer.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
How long did it take you? This is the one you started. Was it yesterday when I was on stream, or?
This took me roughly, I want to say because I fleshed out the actual like the main piece about 3 days ago, and then the rest, like the background and the title and everything, took me about 2 or 3 days. So total about 4 days.
Are you designing everything for them, or did they have some assets they could share with you?
I am designing everything, so everything
Oh,
that you
okay.
see is from scratch.
So they didn't. It's not like they had like a worked out logo or font or anything that you could start from.
Right, right.
Oh, okay, shit. That's cool though. It's all you. So I'm curious. So they hired you on essentially as like a full time. Well, I feel as it's more like maybe an attorney. Like they have you on retainer, or is that like not more how it works? I'm confused. Like, do they have a whole list of shit they want you to work on, or like how does it work?
So basically, they gave me a list of things that they're looking for,
Okay.
and I have free reign to design and work on the things as required. So I know that they need thumbnails, so that's the next thing that I'm tackling. And then after that, I might tackle like holiday themed things. So that way they have them when the holidays do come around. I will tackle that.
Oh, okay.
And they basically, like I said, they sent me a list of everything that they need or they are looking for. I don't have a time constraint, but I do like working in a timely manner. So although I don't have to get these things done right away, I still like to.
So it's like a contract for a certain list of shit to get done, but not specifically a hard deadline, other than what you
Right,
set for
right.
yourself. Okay. And then, oh, Jesus fucking Christ, that was terrifying. Anyhow, dude, what's up, Fiend Sculpts? Thank you, dude. How you doing, man? Hopefully, your stream went well. So I was saying, fuck, what was I gonna ask? Oh, what happens when you complete the list? Are they just gonna keep adding more and more shit to the list, pretty much?
I honestly don't feel like I'm ever going to be complete with this
Okay,
list.
all right, gotcha.
I feel like because the banner is pretty much set, but thumbnails are an ever changing, ever growing thing. So they'll always need new thumbnail designs, and they'll always
Gotcha.
need like new holiday designs, and they also have me working on like merch. So they launch certain merch lines throughout the year, and they'll have me working on the design for those merch things as well as like charity things as well. So um, I will be working on all of that. So the list will never be done.
Okay, I'm following you now. That makes more sense. I'm good. Chill, quiet stream as usual. That's good, dude. What were you working on? Anything new and exciting, hopefully? Unlike me, who works on the same project for a year. I was talking to Mink and Jay about that today. I was like, man, I know that one of the things, if you want to be like, if you're really best foot forward is to make it big doing art stream, one of the biggest things you can do is always to be working on something new and fresh on almost every stream. And I'm like, I just don't care enough about that. I'm going to keep working on my own shit and I don't care how long it takes.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
I absolutely feel that. See,
Plus,
I'm like a power artist. Everything that I do is like in one stream in an hour and a half, and then it's done.
yeah, here's the way I look at it is when I am done with this project, not only will I, but all of my viewers will feel that they accomplished something too. You know, have been a group effort.
Everybody, all in.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Also, I figured out how to cast my iPad to my computer. I don't actually need a capture card. I found that out today.
No, yeah, that makes sense. Well, no, I don't know how to do it to a computer, but I know that I can cast if I'm watching something. This is probably something different, but if I was watching like something on my YouTube on my phone, I could hit a button that would cast it to my TV. I'd imagine it's a similar feature, no?
Yeah, so basically it's just like a mirroring app from iPad to PC, and all I have to do is download the app onto my PC as well, and then it'll just mirror whatever's on my iPad. So I thought I needed a capture card, genuinely. I was looking at capture cards, and then somebody pointed out to me today, they were like, why are you doing that? I was like, so I can use my iPad on stream. They were like, well, you don't need one. I was like, oh?
Nice. That is nice. Finished up a 12-inch zombie. Nice, man. And then started a deadhead sculpt. Wait, deadhead? Are we talking like fucking, are you just saying a dead, like, human head sculpt? Or are we actually talking a dead head? What is that from? It's fucking goddamn the hippie band. What is that fucking hippie? They're called Deadheads. The fans are called Deadheads. It's Grateful Dead. Oh my god. Why couldn't I think of that? Rob
Well, Deadhead is also a band as well.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Is it very Grateful Dead-ish? As like an homage named? Because I know the fans of Grateful Dead are called Deadheads.
It's a Dutch thrash metal band.
Of course it is. This tracks. New project is just a simple head of a dead old rotting man. Oh fuck yeah. Are you bummed about not being able to stream the work that you're doing for this client, or do you not really care?
Dude, I am so fucking upset because the work that I've been doing is genuinely like some of the best work I've ever put out. And it's because I'm taking my time doing it. Where on stream, I'm like, I gotta get this done right now, or else my attention span will wane. So like the stuff that I put out on stream, it's nice, but it's nowhere near as nice as like the banners and stuff that I've been working on. I'm so fucking upset.
I wonder if they would be okay if you recorded it, maybe not streamed it, you know what I mean, just recorded it, and then after it launches on their site, that you could like post on maybe like a YouTube channel, you know.
Yeah, I was considering that. I was also considering hiring and like the person that I work with is also like a video media editor, so I'm considering hiring them to maybe make a short like a TikTok length video of some of my portfolio. So that's what I'm looking at right now.
You know what it gives me heavy vibes of, which I don't know if this is what it is, but it gives me very I know it sounds weird, but I could see a barber shop having all this style of artwork. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of like,
it's very, yeah.
Kind of like a what is that fucking, there's a genre of music it gives me a vibe of, like a, is it called Hellbilly? But it's kind of like a southern metal vibe.
Like a rockabilly almost?
Oh, rockabilly. Thank you. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Rockabilly.
That was the theme that was requested, was traditional tattoos and rockabilly, and I was like,
oh, okay, gotcha. Not nothing like that. Just more anatomy practice and dead skin painting. Fuck yeah. Yeah, rockabilly. I don't know why I said hellbilly. I think hellbilly might be like a subgenre of rockabilly, though. Like something that's more metal, like a little bit heavier than rockabilly.
Okay, so I have a question for you. I'm going to pose a question real quick.
Yeah.
So, if you were like a 10-year-old, say, and your mom, who's the coolest person on the planet Earth, i.e. me.
Yeah.
But
you're my mom in this hypothetical? This is very weird. This has gone down some creepy. Okay, all right, gotcha.
It'll make sense. Hold on.
All right.
So, if you got like for Christmas a record player and some like really dope vinyls, would you be fucking stoked?
How old am I? 10?
Probably like 10 or
11. No. If I was 16, I probably would be. I don't know, but I'm sorry, like, Do they even know that? Like, does a 10-year-old even understand? Like again, I'm assuming you're talking about maybe a 10-year-old you personally know, and at which
My
case,
daughter, yeah.
yeah. At which case, if you think that they already respect the vinyl thing, because let's be real, you don't need vinyls anymore. Anyone who's doing this is
No,
doing it for fun, for the experience of having a record player, right? It's just
right.
a cool way to be involved and maybe get some history. Do you have a record player yourself?
Maybe, maybe.
Okay, all right. Well, no, I grew up. My dad had a huge collection of records, so I grew up learning how to like use record players and shit. But I know that there is kind of a fad right now, and it's been going on for a while. I mean, hell, Hot Topic has been selling records for going on 15 years now, but
Hmm.
it seems to definitely being something that's even gotten more popular recently. Like I hear that even major mainstream bands are releasing versions of their albums on LP. So,
Yeah, Ghost just released theirs on vinyl, their most recent Imperia.
right. And so like it is really cool, but I don't know, would a 10-year-old like think that's really neat? I don't know. You can't exactly, would they rather you just buy them some kind of thing to buy their music on their portable thing that they can listen to?
Well,
If
okay. So
you know.
for like context, my daughter, my oldest, is really into music. Like she plays the keyboard. She's really fucking into music.
Oh, okay.
And I was like looking through Amazon, and I stumbled across like a record player. I was like, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. So I was gonna get her a record player and some vinyls for Christmas, but my husband looked at the screen and he goes, "What are you, dumb?" Like, I was like,
Well,
what?
okay. Hold on a second. How much are vinyls nowadays?
The one that I'm getting her is about $18, I believe.
How much is the record player?
51.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like it would end up being kind of like a worst case scenario would be this kind of kitschy thing that they have that they can randomly have fun with, right? You know, like,
Right.
but I don't, you said your daughter's 10, right? So, like,
Yes.
within a few years, they're going to be fucking never like wanting to be home. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to be out.
Yeah.
And so, they're not, it's not like they're going to have a great opportunity to always like really utilize it. But I could see someone who's really into music getting behind it if they have like a just a weird fascination with music, not a weird fascination, but if they're really into it, it could help play a part into some respect for the history of how people have listened to music, you know. So
Yeah.
I don't know, I think it could be cool. I just am wondering if 10 is just a little young. You know, here's a better, I have a much better and cheaper idea. Here you go. Just start buying them records until they ask for a record player. then, then it's like, then you know they're gonna love it because they they have all these fucking records that they can't do anything with.
Like, yeah, my mother's so fucking weird. She just buys me records, and I don't
Yeah,
have any way to listen to them. One day I would love something so I can actually listen to them. And then
right.
lo and behold,
Or
like, I answer your prayers.
okay, so you do have a record player, you said, right?
Right.
So is it like somewhere where your daughter has no access, like she couldn't go and just put her own record on it?
She doesn't live with me. She lives with her dad. So.
Oh, is this one of the states? This in the states one?
Yep. This is the one
Okay,
in New
okay,
York.
okay. Oh shit. Hmm. Then fuck yeah. Actually, I think that changes things up a little bit.
Yeah.
I
But
think
yeah.
I think it makes things a little bit different. Um, because it's very interactive versus say a gift card to Apple Music or Amazon or Music or something like that.
Right.
This is a little bit more like, would her dad be cool enough to show them how to use a record player?
Yeah, he's just as much into like music and art and stuff as I am, so he would definitely be on board.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, fucking A. Because I don't know. I've never used a modern day record player, so I can't attest if they're the same kind of. Let's be real. Old record players, they were kind of finicky. Like the really old ones, they were a little.
Right,
You had to
right.
fuck around a little bit and know how to use one. I don't know if they're the same way now. I feel like they're probably pretty automated, where you just put the fucking record on, hit play, and it moves the needle for you and everything, and there's nothing you have to do.
Yeah,
Um.
that's the one that I'm looking at. It has an automatic
Okay.
needle.
Okay. Gotcha. Then yeah, it'd be fine probably. And then, I mean, technically, I'm sure you can go online and even get original LPs if you were really interested in older music too.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think it's a good idea. Of course, you have one lagged out. You're in Kansas. Everyone probably still has a fucking record player in Kansas. Sorry, I'm just picking on you. As a 10-year-old, my year was made when I got a really nice fountain pen. If it's something they're into, I think they'd love it. Yeah, a fountain pen. Wait, are you giving an idea or are you just saying, like, I don't know if everyone's into fountain pens. Although,
I'd
you
be
know what?
hyped.
I was going to say, I'm not sure I've ever actually used a fountain pen myself. Like a real nice fountain pen, you know?
I used to have one of those glass ones, the really nice glass ones, and then I tried to do calligraphy with it, and then I realized that my handwriting is shit, so I
Yeah.
put it away.
So, like, you know what's interesting is there is stuff like that where the experience of the gift, like learning how to use the gift, is part of the gift itself. So I don't think I would ever give a shit about a fountain pen personally, but I can say this: if someone was like got me a quill and ink set, I might not use it that often, but learning how to use like a quill and ink set would be pretty fucking cool. You know, or even
Right.
it sounds silly too. I don't send shit in the mail anymore, but if someone got me like a fucking what's it called, where you get the wax and the stamp, I
Oh,
would
the
be
wax
sending.
seals.
Yeah, I would send out so many fucking letters.
Dude,
You know,
I would
like that
send
would
out
happen.
so much shit. Like, if somebody got me a wax seal set, oh, it'd be over. I'd be sending, like, the most random shit to people who I know their address just for shits and giggles.
Well, yeah, especially if you get a seal that actually has like your initial or something, or like, you know, back then houses would have crests, you know, something
Right.
like that could be really dope. I want a Mont Blanc, I don't know what that is, dude. Is it a pen? It's a pen, isn't it?
A Mont
I'm,
Blanc.
I'm guessing it's a fancy pen, judging from the conversation. Saying if the kid likes music, they'll like a record player. Yeah, that's true. It's a very nice fountain pen. Okay, shit, rock on. I remember one of the best gifts my dad ever got. I don't remember if I think it was my sister and I were really young, and it was at the stage where like the other parent buys a gift as the child for the parent, you know, for the other parent.
Yep. Yep.
Um, and we gifted my dad. This was back in the day, obviously before like cell phones and shit. A suction cup notepad designed for your car, so you could just like suction it to the windshield, and it had a notepad and a pen attached to it. And that man used that fucking thing all the goddamn time. So nowadays, obviously, we can just like tap record on our phone and do like a worst of like an audio note. But
Right. I think the best gift I was ever given as a kid was a karaoke machine. I used the shit out of that
really,
thing. Yeah, I used it to death. I I was a weird child, okay? I think that goes without saying. I would sit and like not even use the karaoke machine for what it's for. I would wait for my parents to leave, and then I would sit there and do like radio broadcasts to myself over this
I get that.
karaoke machine.
I get that. No, I totally get that. A friend of mine when I was really young, and when we would hang out, we would just have like a really.
We're on express elevator to hell.
And we would do
Going down.
Only just record, yeah, like fake radio or news broadcasts or shit like that. So I get that.
It was fun though. I had tons of fun. Tons. My downstairs neighbors, I'm sure, hated me, but I had lots of fun.
Well, yeah, fucking karaoke machines could probably be loud as fuck.
Yeah, and it was like
Oh,
it was so loud it like vibrated the floor.
Right. All right, Legged Out. Have a great night. Good luck on your shoot, dude. Take as many behind the scenes pictures as possible, man. You're gonna regret it later if you don't. Many behind the scenes pictures, dude.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm gonna say you must share them in Discord, but I understand if you wanna suspend a level of secrecy or whatever. I get that. I'm lame. I think one of my favorite gifts, honestly, as a kid, I loved video game systems, man. Like, I
See,
can try
we
and think.
got those, and they were never for me. They were always for my stepfather.
Oh, gotcha. All right, here, I take it back. If I go old enough, like, or I should say, if I go back to when I was much younger, um, for about a solid 5 years, my parents had the easiest Christmases for shopping for me because when I was real young, would have been around the first year that this came out, my parents started buying me all of the original Jurassic Park toys. So I got like the Jurassic Park compound, and I got the dinosaurs with dino damage and all that shit. And for a solid 5 years, they kept releasing more and more of these fucking toys. So my parents would just buy me more action figures. Actually, retrospectively, it was probably the cheaper Christmases for my parents because, you know, as soon as I started getting older and wanting video game consoles and shit like that, that's very pricey. I mean, even when the N64 launched, you know, which I think was my first system I ever got, I think that thing retailed for $300 or $400, and that was back in the '90s. $300 or $400 back then was probably equivalent to what video game consoles are going for now. I don't know for sure, but isn't like aren't like the newer Xboxes and PlayStations and all them shits? They're almost $1,000, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Especially
yeah.
the PS5. Jeez.
And this is why we can have we can watch Jurassic Park with Jeff Goldblum action figure. Yeah, that's true. I recently went through him and I pulled out my Jeff Goldblum action figure, and now he just hangs out with us while we watch movies. It's pretty awesome.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Well, yeah, because they literally recreated all the characters. So Jeff Goldblum, Sam Neill, all the Jurassic Park people. So
That's amazing.
yeah. But yeah, video games or that was really my fuck. I just lost a ball bearing. That was my childhood, was video games for the most part.
See, I didn't start playing video games until I was like 16, I think. And so, like, Christmases up until then were pretty easy for my parents. And then after that, I would just ask for video games. So,
Yeah. Trying to think if there was anything else really cool. For my 16th, I got a guitar. And I love my father dearly, but he bought a really shitty guitar. And I was already playing on like a $3,000 guitar. This is like a super spoiled kid thing to say, but a friend of his lent me like his Washburn, which was like a $3,000 or $4,000 guitar. And I had been playing it for like a year or two and really got into it. And so my dad was like, oh, you know, this guy wants his guitar back, so I got to get my kid a guitar. So I went from playing like a fucking $3,000 or $4,000 guitar to playing a fucking $100 guitar, and I'd never touched it. I was such a little shit. I was just like, thanks, pops. He bought me a really cool amp. In all fairness, the amp that he got was fucking tits. It was awesome, but it was just it was not a good guitar, and so it was only a couple months later that my dad's friend brought back his guitar and said, you know what, I wanted to play it again and I never did, so you can just have it. And so he gave it back to me. And so that's a guitar I still have to this day, but I never played the one. I think I ended up giving it away to someone. I just like I never played it. So the thought of getting a guitar for your 16th was really cool. It just the way it played out wasn't that awesome.
see, I got a laptop for my 16th, but my birthday is like obscenely close to Christmas, so I
Mine
usually
too.
got gypped every single year.
Yeah. I was always, mine, I don't know, you and I never probably talked about this, but my birthday is literally let me put it this way. My birthday might as well be Christmas. Okay. It's that close. And I always had to have my birthday shoved 2 months off usually.
Yep, me too. Usually
Yep.
my birthday party was in like February.
Same.
Give or take.
Yep. Yeah. It wasn't actually until I got older that my parents stopped doing that, and they were just like, because the shit that I would start wanting for Christmas for my birthday was so generally expensive items. I'd be like, I'll tell you what, just give me one thing for both my birthday and Christmas, just one thing, and I'll be happy as shit. How's the mold making going, Damn that smooth, dude. I'm going for it. You know me, dude. Well, anyone here who's seen me make these damn molds knows that I go anal on how smooth my molds are. It's going well, man. We're chugging through it. But yeah, I think... Actually, I will say this, and I still have it to this day. I want to say when I was about 17, I really wanted a camera bag, a really nice camera bag. And if you ever go looking around, you'll know that camera bags, like one of those big fuckers with a bunch of dividers and shit, those things are expensive as fuck. And I still have the camera bag I got. It was a big old one. It was probably a $300 or $400 camera bag.
Now, I know this sounds like a really stupid question, but did you have a camera?
Well, yeah, my father was a photographer, so I got a lot of hand-me-downs. So they were like legit, really expensive cameras with different lenses and stuff. And I had, by that time, already had my own darkroom and everything. So, yeah. Now, did I use my camera bag occasionally to move my video game systems around? Yes, but it was still a great camera bag. New nickname, Fiend Sculpts. Yeah, it messed with me too. When he changed his screen name, I was like, who is this person? But I like it. I like it.
Imagine changing your name on Twitch.
Yeah, imagine that. Imagine that.
I could never.
Oh my God. I think since I met you, which has been about a year now, or coming up on it. How many times have you changed it? I think Styx has been the longest you've had.
Styx is staying. Styx is now like a brand, so it's like it's stuck now.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I will never change my name. Although I do wish I had picked something shorter retrospectively, but now I'm in too deep, yo. I'm in too deep. You gotta bail. All right, have a great night, dude. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for raiding. It was great talking to you. You went live right as I was getting ready to go live, so I wasn't able to hang out. Sorry about that. But yeah, maybe I'll start another channel sometime with a totally different topic, and I'll pick a shorter name.
You're just in like the hot tub section of Twitch.
You know it. You know it.
Hot tubbed.
Oh yeah, because that's not a long ass name too. You know. I don't know. Maybe I should do that. Maybe we should start doing streams that are art themed, but only in hot tubs.
Absolutely.
Do watercolor painting, but it's like, how good can you watercolor paint while you're in water? You know, it's a challenge.
And you're using like the actual water you're in for the paintbrush.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, my silicone molds, guys, it's that I poured earlier is officially draining all over on the table behind me. I knew it was only a matter of time. But yeah, I would ask your client if they would hook you up or let you do like some recording. So at least while you're working on stuff, you could always release like a YouTube video later of just like a time lapse, you know. Then that way you can at least try and get some content out of it.
Yeah, I do believe Procreate has the setting automatically on where it records what you're doing in a time lapse. So I could. Because I've done that before, where I've grabbed one of the time lapses and I've put it up on TikTok. It didn't do well, but that's fine. I did just throw it up on TikTok. Just
wait, Procreate just automatically records it, or you have to hit record?
It just automatically records it.
Oh shit, that's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
Yep, and it's just right in the settings. But I did it with my little painting with the fingers coming out of the face.
Oh yeah.
I just threw up that one on TikTok and was like, "Here's my painting." Like
How long of a video was it? Time lapse, like 15 seconds or something like that?
Yeah, not very long, like 10 to 15 seconds.
I've had my TikToks do pretty well. I just stopped doing them. I need to do more. But I haven't had any new projects. It's all been the same fucking project too. So I really need to do is start going in. I record all my streams now because I'm no longer restreaming to YouTube. Mm-hmm. So I have to go through and then like upload them later. So I have all the original files now of my streams. I just need to go through and edit some, like, you know, some TikTok videos or whatever from them. But
I have such a disdain for editing videos. I don't want to do it.
If that's all I was doing, I'd love it. If I didn't have to also be the one creating the videos, you know, doing the actual streams, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind editing. It's the combination of also editing, uploading, doing the titling sequences, and of course the streaming that leads to it. So it's just, and I do think that YouTube is going to play a much bigger part in online content creation more than it is now.
Oh, for sure.
I wouldn't be surprised if, I don't know if it'll happen anytime soon, but if YouTube could even eclipse Twitch in a lot of ways. So
Yeah, because I was talking to my client last night, and the way they were explaining it to me was because Twitch is so based on subs and bits and donos and things like that, where YouTube is strictly based on views. Like, if your discoverability is strictly based upon your views, which is like a much more obtainable goal than like sitting there and saying, "Can you guys give me money? I kind of want to be on the front page." You know what I mean?
right, exactly, yeah. And plus, I mean, YouTube's already got as soon as YouTube can really market itself as a streaming, like, there's plenty of streamers on YouTube already. It's already happening, right? But as soon as everyone knows that it's happening, you know, they fix their marketing or branding a little bit to kind of lean into the streaming thing. I think a lot more people will go there.
Absolutely, I agree.
And so I'm like, man, even if I can just kind of, if I don't have to push hard on growing the community, but just have a basic foothold in YouTube, you know, that's really my only goal at this point.
Ugh. Y'all are gonna make me make the switch. I know it. I feel it.
Do it. Make the switch.
Do it.
In the meantime, just, you know, record all your work and put that shit up there.
Yeah, I have to. I don't want to, but I have to.
So without me doing any research, without going into it too much, is the streamer that you're doing this stuff for, are they a creator like you are? Are they doing art, or is it something completely unrelated? My eyes are too fucking blind to see the fine print on the thing you sent, so I don't actually know what they do.
So they're predominantly a video game streamer, a video game and just chatting streamer. So not really in the wheelhouse of like the creatives. So
Right.
Not saying that they're not, it's just not their wheelhouse. That's like an exact quote from them.
Okay.
So they're not like I said, they're focused mostly on just chatting and building their community and through video games and things like that. So
Okay.
and the fine print is just sponsors. You're not missing much.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I'm so proud of it. I really am.
I like it a lot. How much more do you really have to do to it from what you sent me?
That's not the final piece. The final piece is already done. Now it just needs to be resized.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It just needed some refining, that's all. It needed some shading around the head. It needed a little bit more of the stippling in the background, because it was like the stippling was really kind of chunky and I didn't like it, so I fixed it. So.
And this is for a Twitch banner or like a social media banner?
It's just all social media. It's gonna be. I'm gonna resize it so that way it fits YouTube, Discord, Twitch, and there was one other one, Twitter.
Right.
It's Steve.
It is Steve.
Hi, Steve.
I'm gonna start doing more stuff with Steve. I'm gonna try and make him my mascot. He's already, to the people who hang out, he's already the mascot, but I'm gonna try and do some more content with him. I thought about going into like grocery stores with him and like putting him on a grocery store shelf and like taking a little video or something.
I love that. I love Steve so much. He's adorable. Little menace.
That he is. He's the only thing on my fucking Etsy page, so you know what? Fuck it.
Do it up. I might have you send me a picture of just straight on Steve.
Just normal Steve, just regular old Steve.
Yeah, just one picture head on of Steve.
I have some. I'll if you remind me, I'll send you one in Discord. Is it the same ones on? Actually, you can probably just go steal it from my Etsy shop because there's a couple straight on ones there. So you're gonna go see the Avatar movie, Sticks?
Oh, you bet your ass. I
seriously?
love Avatar. Oh, yeah. I love Avatar.
Okay.
Like, unironically, one of my favorite movies.
Really?
Yeah, I love Avatar so much.
I thought you were gonna join in with me hating it, but no. Okay, all right.
Nah,
Damn.
I love Avatar.
Oh my god. Okay. Wow. I thought we were gonna be like, oh, let's talk shit on it together, and then you were like, nope, I'm gonna make you really uncomfortable for your opinions now.
No. I understand that it's not the best movie. I understand that, and that's okay. It's just one of my favorite movies, but I understand the hate. I know the reason behind it. I'm not ignorant to it, so. Yeah,
you hit it on the nose there. Pocahontas with blue people. I always said Fern Gully. You guys ever? Am I too old for Fern Gully? It's right up your alley. Okay, Sticks. Go watch Fern Gully if you haven't seen it. All right.
I know Fern Gully. I grew up with parents that had like VHSs from the 80s, so I know Fern Gully.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Oh man, I just can't get behind I can't get behind Avatar. I like James Cameron movies, honestly. James Cameron's my boy as far as Terminator and Aliens go. And even Titanic, I'm going to give it to. I like the movie Titanic, okay? But when Avatar came out, it was such hype. It was such fucking hype. And it was so fucking disappointing. And now I'm hearing, like, it's been almost 20 years. Or no, 14 years since the last one came out. And I'm just like, dude, how is this still relevant? Apparently there's an Avatar world at one of the theme parks. I don't know which one, if it's like Universal or Disney or something. It's not, does Disney own Avatar? I can't remember. But I'm like, man, what is it with people that like that fucking movie so much?
It's Disney.
It is Disney?
Yeah, it's Disney.
Yeah, weird blue cat people, not my thing.
I just thought they were so cool. I really did. I thought they looked so cool. I was like, I want to be one.
Yeah, I mean, it was, I think for me, the thing this is not the only movie that failed in this way, as far as I'm concerned, but when movies get hyped too much, that's a problem. And I think because I was such an avid fan of James Cameron, and there was this new movie coming out called Avatar, this like before everyone really knew what it was about, and it was all like, oh, it's going to be the latest and greatest in special effects and technology and blah, 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 blah. There was all this hype around it, and I watched it, and I was like, this really doesn't seem all that special to me. Like, it didn't, like, it is, it's pretty boring. The only thing I liked that it was that it had Sigourney Weaver in it.
Yeah, true. I thought that was a really good little addition. And it's like, I don't like the movie because it's a good movie. That's not the case, because it's not a good movie. It's really not. I just thought it looked so fucking cool.
Well, not to mention, correct me if I'm wrong, you would have been pretty young when it came out, right? Pretty young.
I was like 15, 16, I think. Not even. 15 at most.
Yeah, and so you probably even have some level of like nostalgia connection to it.
Yeah.
I was already.
I remember I went to Rochester to visit a friend, and we went to see it together. It was so fucking cool.
Yeah, I don't know if is the new one just as long of a fucking movie as the? Do you know anything? Is it like another 3-hour movie like the original is?
Let's go see.
It must be. It must be a stupid long movie, just like the rest. Because you know, I'm curious if they're going to wait another 15 years to release the next one, or if they'll actually release it in like a timely fashion.
So, The Way of Water is a 3-hour and 12-minute movie.
Yeah. Okay.
Longer than Endgame.
I guess I didn't even think about that, but yeah, Endgame is probably a pretty long fucking movie. Yeah, I was hoping for its total failure so that I wouldn't have to hear about it anymore. But it sounds like it's actually performing fairly well in the box office, so that makes me a little sad.
I just wanted it to die.
Yeah, I wanted James Cameron to go back to something else. As long as it, you know, really, he's just been fucking around with Avatar and goddamn Titanic themed movies and documentaries now for the last 20 years.
To be fair, if I had the money, I would be hyper focusing on the Titanic too. The Titanic is genuinely one of my favorite like historical things as far as like shipwrecks go.
Okay.
Yeah, the Titanic is cool. Like I would go down and see it any day.
I guess.
But I'm not a space person. Remember, I'm an ocean person.
I'm not a space person, or much less an ocean person. I'm trying to think if I would do that. I don't know. Going down, it's pretty scary. It's like going down there, you know, like lots of pressure that could, you know, crush you if the smallest little malfunction happens. That's pretty terrifying. Plus, we don't know what's down there, man. I don't care how many times people have been down there. All right? I may not be a hardcore believer that we'll ever see any fucking aliens or anything like that, but I will say this. There's plenty of, what is it? Still, we've only explored something like some stupid small amount of part of the ocean, like 5% of the ocean or some shit like that.
Let's see.
It is low. I just remember it being wild. And I actually just looked it up not long ago. I just can't remember what it was. And I was just like, wow, that's very little of the ocean.
Yeah, only 80% of the ocean has never been mapped, explored, or even seen.
That's what I'm saying.
80%.
But, yeah. But I was actually talking to my wife the other night. I went down the rabbit hole again. I do this occasionally because I really want to go to Antarctica. I really want to go to visit the Asmund something station. It's the most southern station in Antarctica, and it's a research facility. You want to see some cool shit, look that place up on like YouTube, and you'll see people giving tours of it and shit. And the back of the facility looks over the actual South Pole. So even though it's not literally at the South Pole, you can see it's called the Circle of Flags, I think. And thank you. Yes. Oh my God, I want to go there so bad. That station out the back, you can see where every country, they have all their flags. I think it's either in a half circle or a full circle, right at the most southern point of the Earth. And when you go there, like most people will tour it if they do tour it during the summertime, which in Antarctica apparently is like, oddly enough, I think their summer months are like January through March is the summer months in Antarctica. And if you want to work there or go there during their winter months, which you can imagine they have a long fucking winter, you can't like come and go for 6 months. If you're there at the beginning of their winter, you don't leave for 6 months. There's no way to leave. And it's like a fucking alien-scape, man. It's like it's alien-like, man. I had a friend who went there once. Oh my God, I would love to go. But I looked it up and you have to, so the majority of people that go are researchers. So you have to be like working on your doctoral thesis and you're studying, you know, different types of specific sciences. You can tour, but just to like start, just to like consider doing it, you have to have something like $50,000 or $60,000. Like if you're not going to go there as like a scientist and you just want to tour the facility, you better have all the fucking money in the world, because apparently this station, or I don't know if this is all trips to Antarctica, but at least visiting the station, The station is run by an international organization, so you have to get approval from like multiple countries to even visit.
Oh, Jesus.
And it's not even. What's funny is it's not. It would be really wicked to see and just visually see this fucking place, but it's the fact that Antarctica, to my knowledge, is not owned by any country, so it's like the only Wild West, so to speak, that even exists on our planet anymore. And that just fucking, dude, there's people, I've seen videos, different stations down there where they'll like microwave some ramen noodle soup or whatever, and they'll walk outside and they'll take their spoon with the soup and just lift it into the air and it freezes immediately. I just am like, oh my God, that would be fucking amazing. Yeah, there is
that
a
sounds like a no thank you.
There is a treaty forbidding. Oh, there's a treaty forbidding owning Antarctica. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. And yeah, it'd be cold, but you get to go right back inside, you know. And the coolest part,
like, to know that I step outside and there's death. No, thank you.
yeah, it's wicked, man. They at the 6 month, because I'm pretty sure their winter times, or at least part of their winter, I could be wrong, is all night all the time, like for months. It's some 30 days a night shit, I'm pretty sure.
That would be the coolest fucking setting for, like, I don't know, like some kind of like the Thing kind of shit, you know what I mean?
Well, the Thing obviously takes place in Antarctica, right?
Yeah.
And then you have 30 Days a Night, which took place in Alaska. But yeah, there's some of the coolest photography I've seen has come out of like landscapes in Antarctica, because it's just a vast, unimaginably, almost like infinitely large, just flat snow. You know, that's just wicked. Nothing lives there too. It's not like maybe there's some frozen microbes or some shit like that, but there's not like any animals that just exist at the most southern part of Antarctica. There might be seals and penguins and shit like on the borders, but when you go that far in, there's nothing that's like alive. There aren't plants or random little critters, you know? It's just nothingness, an expanse of nothingness. Yeah. On Pole's Arctic Day, and night takes 6 months. And night takes 6 months. It is? Jesus. Dude. That's so fucking wicked. But yeah, they stopped going to this station for like 6 months. There's like, if you also have to, if you even want to visit, you have to undergo some kind of psychological and physical evaluation, because they can't chance, apparently, like having you lose your fucking mind, essentially, or if something physical, like you have to be healthy. They don't want you to have like a heart attack while you're there or whatever. So, same. Yeah, I would not be able to either. I would not be able to. They'd hit me for blood pressure, I'm sure, at least.
They'd hit me just for like psychological reasons. Like, no, she's gonna lose her mind. No.
We have in June a 2 weeks without night, only twilight. Really?
We have the same thing here.
Do you?
We're pretty far north, and our summers, it never gets truly dark.
Really?
Yeah, like
I guess I didn't realize how far north both you and Mink and Jay are. I thought, I need to look at a fucking map. I didn't realize Poland was, at least parts of it were that far north. I know you're north as fuck, at least up in Canada, but yeah, I think I could I think I could deal with eternal night more than I could deal with like eternal day. If I had to pick one, I'd probably pick night.
So I am pretty much, if you're looking at a map and you look straight across the map, I am pretty much in line with Poland.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather have all night than all day, and I think I would rather have that than this constant like fucking daylight savings time garbage that we do. That pisses me off.
Yeah, it never gets bright enough here during the winter ever.
That doesn't surprise me if you're that far north. So wait, is there a chunk of time that it's the most brightest? Like he was saying for like 2 weeks, where it's just twilight pretty much the whole time.
Like usually like the 2 weeks that includes the first day of summer, it's purely like it's bright all the time and it never really gets dark.
Wow. Okay.
We also have the northern lights here too.
Yeah, those I've actually been lucky enough to see several times in my life because living in Michigan, we would camp in Beaver Island, which is in the Great Lakes. It's an island. And there's so little light pollution there that I've actually seen the northern lights 4 times in my life, which for someone down here, that's actually like you're lucky to see them once.
Yeah.
But you probably get them every fucking night up there.
we do absolutely, yeah. Especially if you like leave the city and you go just a little bit north.
Well, yeah, you have to get away from the light pollution, right?
Yeah,
pretty much.
Like,
yeah.
Really nice areas. You can absolutely see them every single night.
That's crazy.
Or even if you go to like, because one of our biggest national parks is Banff National Park. If you go there and just camp out for a night, you're guaranteed to see them.
Well, I mean, even right now, you guys are experiencing like you're in the midst of your extreme winter right now, right?
Absolutely. Last week it was 31, negative 31.
Oh my fucking god! And you're telling me you wouldn't go to Antarctica? You're already living in it.
Yeah, it was. That's not even as cold as it gets here. Last winter, in the dead of winter, it was negative 50.
I don't know, guys. I still think I'd take that over the 120 degrees that we see here in the States in Vegas.
I would go to the butt crack of the earth, right on the equator, and live there forever and just be happy if it meant that I never had to be cold again.
All right, I'm going to be honest. Have you ever even experienced 120 degrees? Because I know where you lived in the States before you went up north, and that doesn't even see that temperature. So unless you've taken some southern trips, you don't even know what you're talking about. You're insane.
You forget. I was stationed in South Carolina.
Oh, shit. Okay. All right. That is right. I did.
Yeah. I was
okay, that's humidity, though. That's humidity, though. South Carolina, I don't even think sees like 120 days.
Sometimes. I know that when I was there, it was pretty fucking hot. We were running in the heat, and it was hot.
Well, running has a tendency to make even 90 degrees seem like hell. So
yeah,
that's
true.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I will give Vegas, because it's a desert, I will give it the points that at least the heat is dry heat. I would pick 120 dry heat over 90 with 100% humidity. That shit just you cannot breathe. You cannot breathe.
Any day. I
can't.
And it gets like, when you're from the east, you would know this because you're from the east as well. In the winter, when it's humid and cold, you get cold like to your bones. It is so cold because you're wet too.
You know what's interesting though? I can't actually imagine that. I know I experienced it, but I swear during the winter it was always dry as fuck.
Not
like
wrong.
your lips get chapped and shit like that. You know, like just that super dry cold. So I actually don't know that I've ever experienced humid cold, because humidity doesn't like to stick around in cold very much. Not to say it doesn't at all, but if you were on the East Coast, you probably were still dealing with higher amounts of humidity than I would have been, even though I was in the Great Lakes. If you're on the East Coast, you got the big fucking ocean right there.
Yeah, and I was, my town is literally built around the Hudson River as well. So anywhere you go from where I'm from, you will hit the Hudson, or you can see it from whatever angle you're from. So I'm also like from off of the water.
That's pretty fucking cool. Yeah, I don't think I've dealt with that. Even my time in Pennsylvania was spent on the west side of Pennsylvania, which is practically the Midwest already. Pennsylvania is one of those stupid long states that just is like, I'm going to exist in several parts of the country.
all biomes.
Yeah. But yeah, I think of places to visit. You know, if I ever, become just stupid wealthy, I will be going to Antarctica. I'll just pay the guy who gives me my psychological check. I'll just pay him off. Be like, say I'm super healthy, physically and mentally.
Say I'm okay, and you get this fat stack of money.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I am gonna head out because
Well,
I have to go check on my son, and then I must finish these banners. So
Yeah.
I am going to head out.
Cool. Thanks for hanging out. It's good chatting. We'll catch up again soon. Good luck on your the rest of your currently started artwork.
Thanks. I'll talk to you later.
Peace. Slowly but surely, Silicone's looking good, guys. Like I said, we'll show it off before we end up wrapping up stream here. So got a little bit longer. I want to try and get the rest of these and maybe start putting some of the fiberglass keys in, or the hard keys. I am gonna have to probably use some of these other size ball bearings too, which sucks. There we go. Boom. Yeah, it fucking scared the shit out of me when sticks jumped in. I literally almost shit myself. I just wasn't ready for it. I just wasn't ready for it. Yeah, I'll see if tomorrow, guys, if we can manage to try and do the Thixo coat of silicone inside the stream room. As long as I pre-weigh everything out, the base, the catalyst, and the 5X, or the Thixotropic or whatever, it should be fine. You guys can see how I cake that shit on.
make this bitch erupt. And I got a sweet tooth for a little slut, yeah. But you see, everything is gravy, everything is strange, everything's in danger. I got everything in name. But what I'm gonna do when it all ends? What I'm gonna do? What I'm gonna do? Super high and super high, super high and super high, super high and super high, super high. Sun coming on some payback shit. Full villain on some train track shit. Oh yeah, I probably need a straight jacket. But tell him pull up, we can fade that. I let it rain when the sun gets low. Everybody else doing what they get told. Every time I pass another foe, they froze. Thinking they ain't never felt the breeze this cold. That's why she looking my way. Good star, but her heart's on ice age. Fly as hell, high as hell, probably. Saying why? I swear I feel like eyes on me like wow. Eyes on me like wow. Eyes on me like wow. I swear I feel like
Right, that was the last of those size ball bearings. I only need to maybe add really one more, maybe right there, which is good because I don't have that many more. I only have these size ones. So we gotta find. And I dropped one. Great. Excuse me. Here we go. It's still too small. Alrighty. All right, guys, so I'm going to show you that silicone, the silicone part now. But that's pretty cool. We finished the ball bearings on this mold. Yeah, pretty happy with it. Came out pretty cool. So, all right, I'll show you how the silicone has settled on the other molds. Oh, it's still gooey. So, like I said, it auto leveled, which is great. It's messy as hell, but I will show you. Yep. So this was just the splash coat, guys. And we did this about 2 hours ago, I'd say, roughly. But it's a 12-hour cure time. But I wanted to talk about, I don't know if I'm going to be able to show whether or not it's gelling or not. I don't think it has fully started to gel, but it has settled. I don't imagine that it's going to settle much more than this, but you'll see in general that it did the thin thing that we wanted it to do. So you can start to see the gray plastic underneath the silicone. Tomorrow, this will be cured, and we're going to paint on, or sculpt on, depending on how you want to look at it. We're going to sculpt on a thickened version of the silicone. We'll take this silicone, we'll mix it up, and we're going to add some Thivex to it, or Thixotropic. So I'm going to show you. It's a little bit thicker now. It's starting to gel. Not quite gelled though. If it was fully gelled, it would have like a skin on it. This is not skinned yet. So yeah. Red catalyst, 2 hours cure, job's done. Yeah, because I didn't degas this though, I used the blue catalyst for V340, and so it's a 12-hour cure time. I did that on purpose because I want as much time for air bubbles to escape. But we mixed this up 2 hours ago. This is almost exactly. I'm gonna guess that means that you could even be still working with it right now, probably to some extent if you really wanted to. So, but you can see it's settled. Even on this one, you can see the gray a little bit more. I think it's picked up the detail that we wanted it to pick up, and yeah, we're pretty much golden. So. Tomorrow, the Thivex. So, all right, guys, thanks for hanging out. I really appreciate it. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to bug you. Whether you're watching this in the future on YouTube or you're watching it now, go join the Discord. Do it. Go share your artwork in the Discord. Trying to build a community. We'll start off small. We'll do whatever it takes. A community of people who are doing traditional art, IRL art, as I like to call it. I don't care if it's drawing or whatever, painting, go do it. Join the Discord. You know you want to. Everyone, thank you so much for hanging out. I'm going to be bouncing. I will be back tomorrow, and we will be doing more silicone work. So don't miss out if you want to see how just adding a couple drops of a Thixotropic to this can really help bulk out the silicone. You won't want to miss it. So have a great evening, everyone. I will catch up with you later. Peace out.